Morning. Wait, I don't think that thing works anymore. I'll get rid of it. See ya in 11 and a half minutes. Good morning. How's your coffee this morning? Hey, Jim, I just saw that email chain. Thanks for sending me that, keeping me in the loop. I think maybe they didn't program it right in that case. So I'll investigate. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, the show. All right, about 2.5 minutes. We'll get going. I can feel the energy building. Oh my goodness. I can barely contain myself. All right, I guess that's a cue. That's pretty close. I think it's maybe 90 seconds early, but why not? Let's go. Welcome to Forex.Today, the YouTube community of more than 21,000 foreign exchange traders. We gather here today to conduct technical and fundamental analysis with the overriding goal of planning our trades in advance because Trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results, but please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. Hey, 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 hey! How you doing, huh? Yep. How you doing, huh? All right, so we are looking at a market that is preparing for a big risk event tomorrow. So, what do you think is likely to happen? Do you think big institutions are going to gamble on tomorrow's outcome and front run it? Or do you think large institutions are worried about the risk of tomorrow and instead decide to take risk off the table, reduce their size, reduce their position? Yeah, well, that makes sense. If you have $1 billion, you don't need to gamble. So, anyways, let's get an update on recent headlines in the news. The US dollar is moving lower versus the major currencies. What technical levels are being broken? Bundestag will hold a second März vote today at 15:15 Berlin time. Markets cautious ahead of Fed decision. US dollar steady despite wave of geopolitical headlines and events on Tuesday. Euro remarkably quiet despite political turmoil in Germany. Scotiabank. Canadian dollar is consolidating in recent range near high. Scotiabank.
Bank of England decision on Thursday will be at 12:02 p.m. local time instead of 12 p.m. due to VE Day's 2 minutes of silence.
US dollar. Sentiment fragile as German politics hits European equities. Scotiabank. Major meme coins Dogecoin. Shiba Inu slide. As Turbo surges 250% in a month.
Next round of Iran-US nuclear talks likely to be in Oman at weekend.
I should have bought $1 billion worth of Turbo. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Yep. Pound stronger than the euro right now. We have a down channel. Oh, for sure. We have 13 minutes until Canadian balance of trade. Okay, let's take a look at the trend. And what the heck? What the heck happened there? Something strange. Okay, we got a negative number last time. Huh. Well, hell's bells. So how do we trade this? Oh, that's a good question. Well, we're 12 minutes and 28 seconds away. If you think it's less, what happens? Aussie, no trade. Why? You're supposed to be trading Aussie in the Asian side. Okay, so we go to North America here. Euro dollar, there could be a scalp if it's less than expected. But do you think it's going to be less than negative 1.6? Really? Huh. Anyways, maybe a scalp on euro dollar, maybe a scalp on Kiwi dollar, maybe a scalp on USD Swiss franc, maybe a scalp on USD yen. So no scalp on Aussie dollar, but what else is missing? This is why it's good to have the data. What's missing? No CAD. What? In the past, when the actual was less than consensus, okay, there was no trade on Canadian dollar. Now, maybe it produces volatility. We don't know. I would assume it produces volatility when it's not good data. But inside of that volatility, there's no reliable, repeatable pattern. Sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes sideways, sometimes it goes down. It's kind of random. So it's not a good opportunity. Also, you wouldn't scalp Aussie dollar. There's just not enough volume this time of day. But there seems to be little scalps, just not in the Canadian dollar. Now, wouldn't you assume you would trade Canadian dollar in a scenario like that? Yeah, I would assume that, but I can't back that up with data. In fact, I can back it up that that assumption isn't actually consistent. So let's see if we do have some sort of directional pattern here. Less than expected US dollar weaken. Less than expected US dollar weaken. Less than expected US dollar weakens. Less than expected US dollar weakens. 75, 85, 75, 80. So, it's around 75 or 80% of the time in the past, in scenarios where the actual was less, the US dollar weakened. But don't trade CAD. Is that good information to have? Heck yeah, son. Okay. If the actual is greater than negative 1.6, which seems pretty easy, right? There is a scalp. Dollar weakness. Whoa, 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 whoa. Aussie does have it. Euro dollar, no scalp. Pound dollar, no scalp. Kiwi dollar, maybe a scalp. Same direction as the Aussie. And there is a scalp. Oh, lo and behold, there is a scalp on USD Kitty Cat. And it's good for the CAD. It's bad for the US dollar. It's on multiple time frames. So can we do better than negative 1.6? Well, I don't know. But let's look at the 4 hour. If it came out that way, what would it be? Well, 75% of the time in the past, when balance of trade favored Canada, the Canadian dollar versus the US dollar, 75% of the time produced a downward move in the USD CAD. This occurred March 6th. Yep. This occurred August 6th. This occurred June 6th. Is it May the 6th today? So there you go. How does that smell? If it's a horrible, horrible, horrible number, don't trade the USD CAD. If it's not so horrible, then in 7 minutes, USD Kitty Cat has a pretty decent probability of falling. Okay? Okay? Let's do this. Just for fun. Hey now. Mhm. Which one should we do? We should do, I guess that. Okay. So we go insert text, just so we have some notes. Okay. What do you think about that? So now, if what you would want to do if it pops, you can sell it high. So let's go to biased pivot points, make it bearish, and that's monthly. That's probably too far out. So let's make it weekly, and then if we don't like weekly, we can go daily. We should probably be on a small time frame. Let me squeeze that text back. Get back to me. Oh, grab it. Kidding me. All right. Okay, we could do it the easy way or the hard. Okay. So you can see the current sell zone. I'll highlight the highlight. Bearish selling zone. It's even labeled. So we're looking for less bad than the past. How does that make you feel? Of course, we have this on multiple time frames. And then we also have this for IVPMI later today. Tomorrow's a Fed decision. Are you going to attend the YouTube presentation? Who wants to do the FOMC live tomorrow? Anybody? Or should I take the day off? I'm like, oh, nobody cares. I'll just take the day off.
Hi, Currency Trader. My name is Wayne McDonald, and I've been...
Cool. May the 7th be with you. This is the Fed meeting. Would you like to click the notify me button? Maybe click the thumbs up button while you're there just to be nice and kind, like your mama, right? Like your mama wants you to be. Yeah, wink, wink. Right? Yeah, they aren't going to do anything anyways. Well, we do want to we we want to analyze the July and September meetings. And we really want to pay attention to institutional positioning changing around this data, right? Yeah, the possible change in tone because they have to tee it up. And my experience is they wouldn't tee up June now, they would tee up September. And that's what everybody wants to know. Oh, so it is important, but nothing's going to happen on Wednesday, but there's going to be incredibly important details. Hey, yeah, where did those masks go? What about that? I have that bear mask. What did I do with my bear and pig masks? So, anyways, is anyone going to be there? Dan's going to be there. Eddie's thinking about it. Jilly's thinking about it. Yep. Andy, Denise. Right? Alexio, maybe, baby. Yeah. Cool. Right on. Yeah. Cool. All right, we got to get going. 90 seconds, baby. 90 seconds. We want less horrible data for Canada. Less horrible
The
is
focus
good.
is back on trade today in more ways than one. The U.S. dollar is moving lower versus the major currencies. What technical levels are being broken? Bundestag will hold a second März vote today at 15:15 Berlin time.
Berlin.
Markets cautious ahead of Fed.
All right, I heard that before. Berlin. That's how we say it in Saskatchewan, by the way. Berlin. 56 seconds. Oh, I'm so excited. Come on, Canada. Let's do better than negative 0.6. You can do it. Let's have a negative 1.1. Wouldn't that be good? Oh, yeah. Here we go. 20, 17. We're looking for something less bad than negative 0.16 billion. 2, 1. Come on. Yay. Yeah, yay. That's a good number. Let's see if it goes our way. Okay, mark resistance for pullback opportunities. Coolio. Look at the excitement around this news. It's palpable. Palpable. Yeah. Whoa. It's crazy. Okay. Cray. What is the downside target? We are looking at 137. We are testing 138. This is happening. Can you believe it? Holy smokes, eh? Hang on to your hat. Hang on, everybody. Yeah, it's so funny. When I first started trading Forex 20 something years ago, something like this would have moved the market like 200 pips by now. Well, what do you think about the double bottom on oil, Alexio? Trying to fit our notes in. Where did the notes go? How many times do I have to do it? Yes, maybe down there is good. So far, so good, right? So far, quantitative analysis is working. The other thing you could do here is you can change your biased pivots and go with daily instead of weekly and just see where that gets us. If it's just a short scalp here, a quick one. That gets us down to 137.83. Yeah. And that just gets us to the bottom of the range. It's not much of a scalp at all, huh? Yeah.
Canada International Merchandise Trade above expectations, 1.7B in March. Actual, 0.51B. United States Goods and Services Trade Balance below forecasts, 129B in March. Actual, 140.5B. Canada Trade Balance. Canada Trade Balance for March, CELO, 0.51B versus 1.56B estimate. U.S. March International Trade Balance, 140.5B versus 137.0B expected. Canada exports down to 69.9B in March from previous 70.11 BIBO. Bay Street likely to open on mixed note. Wall Street poised to open in negative zone.
Yeah, for some reason the voices they can't distinguish from positive numbers and negative numbers. So it comes out like negative 1.5 billion, and they don't know how to read the hyphen. So I'm going to have to go back and train them because they need to say negative 1.52. But you should know that. Now, notice that while we're sitting here staring at the charts, she updated us on various subcomponents of the Canadian balance of trade data. All of this is being done automatically. How cool is that, huh? X minus M. Right. Okay, looks like we're challenging the 138 psych level. Another thing you could do here is check the implied vol, but I don't think that's fair. But you could and use that as a scalping target as well. I missed it everywhere. See there. Super strange. Oh, here it is. Wow, so strange. Okay, volatility and volume should be increasing here. Tuesday is not a good day for CAD. Okay, but an increase in vol here. So, if you were trading this, it's basically what we've done here. Here's the 1 hour low, which I did with the daily pivot. Now they're different. Don't confuse them to be the same, but they end up coming up with roughly the same idea. There's kind of like the low in the next couple of hours, and then here's maybe the projected low. Later. $37.50 maybe.
Trade deficit hit record in March on stockpiling of goods ahead of
So now we're an hour and 20 minutes away from Canadian IVPMI, so that will also help with the the volume and volatility with CAD. Yes, Guy Killer, yes. Okay, so it's looking at so we're at what, the 8 o'clock hour. Well, actually, so every 15 minutes. So it's at 8, okay, at 8:15, at 8:30, at 8:45, and so on and so forth. It just keeps doing this over and over and over. It looks at the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's an age. Thursday and Friday. And it says, what's the 1 hour range? What's the 4 hour range? And what's the range over the next 24 hours around the 8 o'clock candle? Okay. And then 15 minutes later, it updates. Okay, over the next hour from 8:15 to 9:15 on Tuesdays, what's the 1 hour range, the 4 hour range, and the 240 hour, right, or the 24 hour range? Then at 8:30, what's the 1 hour, what is the 4 hour, and what is the 24 hour range on average from 8:30 to 9:30, 8:30 to 12:30, 8:30 to 8:30 on Tuesdays. So then it's an average, right? So it's probably closer to a rolling average true range is one way of it. So that we know on Tuesdays at 8:15 how much does USD CAD typically move. So that average is an implied volatility. So if it rarely moves at 8:15, but it tends to move a lot around 8:30 and 8:45, we would know. And then by how much does it typically move? Is it 2 pips? Is it 22 pips? Okay. Or is it 52 pips? Okay. Well, we have that in the calculator. That's how we determine the highs and lows. Okay. Now, the nice thing about that page is it updates itself without you having to refresh the page. So it's live data. It refreshes and refreshes. It just keeps updating the database, which is really nice. So you can literally sit on that page, and then also you can see, like when I pulled it up, USD CAD was one of the worst things to be trading now on average on Tuesdays at this time of day. It just doesn't move very much, but we know in the next few hours it will be. So it doesn't mean that it's a bad time to be trading it now. What's most important is in the near future, meaning in the next hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour, volume and volatility will move in favor of the Canadian dollar. And that's, you want to be in early on the wave. You want to paddle in front of the wave and then catch the momentum that carries you. It also helps you place your stop. Exactly, Sky Killer. It says trade this, don't trade that. Look at this, don't look at that. Time of day is one of the most important aspects of trading. I used to do a presentation about the most unused indicator, and that is the clock. So you might have amazing technical analysis at the wrong time of day, and you're not going to get the results you expect. Because you're the only one trading, right, Sky Killer? Yeah. Remember, this is a self-fulfilling prophecy, so you need to figure out what everyone's going to do soon. You don't want to beat them. You want to join them.
Surges against U.S. dollar ahead of Fed Bank of England policy decision.
U.S. trade deficit surges much more than expected in March.
You want some Nikkei? All right, let's look at some Nikkei. Nikkei. Okay, well, we can start with the fundamentals. I'm a 3. Okay. Somewhere between May and June, we top out on the Nikkei. So you're thinking about getting short, huh? So technically it's bullish, or statistically it's bullish. Let's take a look at seasonality on this. Mhm. So looking at the 20-year average, okay, what do we see? On average, Nikkei looks like this. Tops out, it peaks in May and withers until October or September, I guess you could call it this. All right. How does that make you feel, Doji? Yeah, you're like, well, maybe we've come to a top. Okay. That could be possible. Hang on. Let me... All right. So now let's go to the global stock indices. Okay. It's not a it's not a monthly pivot. That's out of position, so that's not very good. Let me just double check annual pivots. Yeah, I suppose you could. Okay, yeah, you could play that game. It's not very good monthly, but it's okay annually. There is resistance there as well. You could mark this top. Really, pivot. It's kind of incorporating that. So, okay, and we know seasonally, somewhere around now, it might be next week, it might be the week after, or it could be right now. We would go this direction. The target is 28 because the top is 40. So the top of the market predicts the bottom of it. Right? So yeah, if you want to go roll reversal off this sucker and take it down, you have seasonal permission, and you have annual technical resistance. But yeah, you could probably get below 30 statistically. Now we don't know, like when you get down there, maybe things change, or maybe it takes a long time. Maybe you're right. Maybe it only double bottoms, but that's not what the chart says. So it's like not my opinion. It's going to break 30. No, well, that's just what the chart says. Yeah, but see, Doji, it's so easy now. You have all the data. Like now, it takes you 2 minutes to do this type of analysis. You're like, you have all of this, which I consider power. Knowledge is power. Hmm? You know the truth through knowledge. It's empowerment. That's why they call it illuminate. You're illuminated because you know things. And knowing things is a good thing. Beautiful rebound off the central pivot up. Crazy. Crazy. That puts our top at almost 28. We're not even at 23,000. Gorgeous. Hmm. What do you think? Okay. This is where scalping then kicks in. Let's do it on a 5 minute. Okay. Every bearish setup you see now, you can take. I would never buy. This this is my style of scalping. Everybody scalps different. This one is mine. Let me show the other level that would have been important for a scalp. And so this one, and so now it needs to make a lower low, and then we would lower high this. So it would look like, say, we definitely want to get below that. Let's say we'll get challenged. Okay. How long do you keep scalping short on the 5 minute chart? all the way to the middle of September. Yep. Oh my God. Yeah, well, I have the data. It's not right. I have the data. Mm-hmm. La-di-da-di-da. It's a long time to be scalping. Yeah, well, you do you. Look at that ASX. It's crazy recovery. Mm-hmm. So now I'm looking at something like this is the next play. What do you stink? Smell like a plant? Yep, 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 yep. Bitcoin still stalled out. Gold taking off just like we set up last week in the swing trading group. Just dare I say perfect. Dare I say? Good recovery for Australia. Aussie dollar's been weak for a long time. ASX been down for a long time, and then bada bing, bada boom. Yeah. Euro dollar. Yep, that's working fine. This one's working fine. Here's our double bottom on my oh my WTI. Gorgeous. Now the real challenge is what happens now, but this is why you buy at support. Now you jam your stop and just walk away. Cool, huh? Gorgeous. Lovely. That's the projected low for the year. Based on technicals, anyway. Now, at one point, I did say oil would drop from 80 to 40. The thing is, I didn't say it would happen right off the bat. I thought it would happen later in the year, in the second half. Is everybody signed up for the presentation tomorrow at noon? The second quarter outlook? Let me get a link for you. Okay, if you had paid for it in January, you still have access. You don't have to pay again. Okay. If you have not, okay, if you have not signed up, I would recommend to you sign up today so that you can watch the one I did in January. And then attend tomorrow's event or watch tomorrow's recording. What do you think? So hopefully I'll see you there. So we will do this on Wednesday. I should be done by 1:30. Then we'll end this, and then we will go to the YouTube presentation for the Fed, which is youtube.com/@Forex.Today. And it's this one. So I'm not going to do a presentation. I'm not going to do a live stream like this tomorrow morning. I'm just going to do it for the Fed meeting. Okay, so no 8 a.m. live stream tomorrow. Okay, but make sure you RSVP. Maybe give it a thumbs up. So hopefully you'll be there. They'll give you that link as well. So peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above